The movie started in a small grocery store, where three guys casually walked in and began grabbing stuff without any plans to pay. The shopkeeper asked them to pay up, but one of the guys pulled out a knife and demanded cash from the store's safe. Just then, a young woman walked in to buy some Better Choice pancake mix. The thugs noticed she had a lot of cash and threatened her with the knife too. She didn't flinch, disarmed the robber, and quickly knocked out all three of them. After her heroic move, she just calmly paid for the can of pineapple they had damaged. During an elegant ballet performance, one of the dancers looked visibly uneasy. Her nerves weren't about the dance itself, but because of a man in the audience who kept staring at her. Meanwhile, Ok-joo, the young woman from the grocery store, drifted through life feeling completely disconnected. One night, while she was sleeping, her phone rang and woke her up. It was an old friend, Min-hee the ballerina, asking her to come over. Ok-joo jumped on her motorcycle, bought a few drinks, and headed to visit Min-hee. When she got to Min-hee's place, there was an eerie silence. Even after ringing the doorbell a bunch of times, no one answered. Worried about Min-hee, Ok-joo used a code to get into the room. She walked into Min-hee's bedroom and saw a white box with a bright red ribbon on the bed. When she opened it, there was a beautiful pair of ballet shoes and a note that read, "Please get revenge for me. I thought you'd be able to help." Determined to find Min-hee, Ok-joo kept searching. She called Min-hee and then heard a phone ringing inside the bathroom. She was shattered when she found her friend's lifeless body in the bathtub, sending waves of grief through her. In a moment of reflection, she remembered the first time she met Min-hee at the bake shop. Back then, her life felt pretty meaningless. Min-hee approached her with a warm smile, reintroduced herself as an old high school classmate, and invited her for coffee. It was her way of reconnecting and bridging the gap of time. At that time, Ok-joo was working as a security guard for influential people, while Min-hee had become a ballerina. Min-hee turned out to be more than just a friend. She became a trusted companion, bringing some much-needed color back into Ok-joo's life. Now, she's on a mission to find Chef Choi. After a quick search online, she found his Instagram shop. To keep her undercover, she pretended to be interested and ordered a box of sushi. But to her surprise, Chef Choi suddenly left the chat. Determined to follow the leads, she answered a call on Min-hee's phone, which she had taken from her room. The man, who thought he was speaking to Min-hee, started insulting her and demanded her presence at a meeting later. He threatened that if Min-hee didn't show up, he'd ruin her relationships with the people she cared about. He gave Ok-joo the details of where to meet the following night. Ok-joo got to the meeting place and discreetly watched a man who showed up at the designated spot. He seemed to be up to a suspicious transaction. The buyer grabbed something and just tossed the sushi box in the trash. The man called Min-hee's phone, but Ok-joo didn't pick up. When he left, she followed him on her motorcycle. When the man's car entered the gate, she decided to get off her motorcycle and walk. After finding his hidden residence, she left. The next morning, once the man had gone out, Ok-joo sneaked into his fancy mansion. She planted a listening device and started looking around for something important. She soon came across some shady tools that I'm sure we all know what they're for. Opening a drawer, she found a bunch of USB drives labeled with names like half Japanese, high schooler, pianist, fit model, and to her shock, ballerina. Curious, she checked the ballerina drive and was horrified to find explicit videos used to blackmail her friend Min-hee. She knew the other USBs were probably just as bad. Fueled by anger and determination, Ok-joo knew she had to do something. Using info from a listening device she planted in his room, Ok-joo went to the club Choi had mentioned, blending in with the crowd. She spotted Choi upstairs, drank her milkshake, and then found he had disappeared. She went upstairs to look for him, but suddenly someone touched her shoulder. It was Choi, who mistook her for his friend because they looked alike. I think he did it on purpose. Such a cliché, isn't it? Smoothly, she got him to join her for a drink and agreed to go with him to a hotel room, using this moment to her advantage. After arriving at the hotel and checking in, they went to their room. Once inside, Choi offered her a drink, unaware of Ok-joo's plan. When he thought she was unconscious, he put on a mask and started filming his cruel acts. In a moment of quiet determination, Ok-joo pulled out her knife and struck, catching him off guard. Despite his attempts to fight back, Ok-joo's resolve was unbreakable. She overpowered him, leaving him with a disfigured face as a reminder of his actions. Suddenly, the receptionist burst in, holding back a rifle, and shot at Ok-joo, but she managed to escape the room. On her way out, a guy blocked her path and tried to attack, but a young woman stepped in to help. They both made a quick escape in Choi's Lamborghini. In the days that followed, Choi got an unwelcome visit from his boss while he was still recovering. The boss asked Choi how he got his Lamborghini, and Choi said it was from his part-time job. What a joke, right? The boss admitted they did some sketchy work, but there were certain creeds they needed to uphold. Choi was told to manage the girls without making weird videos. Then, he gave Choi a chilling order: capture Ok-joo alive within 3 days and bring her to him. Meanwhile, in another place, Ok-joo took the young woman to a diner to get more info about Choi's operation. The woman shared some harrowing details. They were treated horribly, like slaves, always suffering and living in fear that their embarrassing videos might be shown to everyone. These videos were taken without their consent when they were heavily intoxicated by the drinks they were given. They had prayed for someone to save them from Choi's grip, and she believed Ok-joo was the one who could rescue them. Later, Choi asked his friend Myung-sik for help in capturing Ok-joo, offering him money for his cooperation. The next day, Ok-joo visited her former employer to get specialized equipment. She explained her urgent need for serious firepower. Her old boss directed her to an elderly couple, and they set up a meeting in an open field. During the exchange of a bag of cash, the elderly man showed her a collection of outdated weapons, which left Ok-joo a bit disappointed. The elderly woman, curious about why Ok-joo needed these firearms, asked her. Ok-joo explained her situation, prompting the woman to reveal a hidden stash of superior weapons, including a powerful flamethrower, which was better suited to Ok-joo's needs. At a car wash, Myung-sik contacted someone in the police force, asking for help in tracing the location of Choi's Lamborghini. Back at Ok-joo's house, she discussed her plan with the woman she had rescued, stressing the need for caution. Coming home from the store where Ok-joo had gone to buy some food, she found herself ambushed by Choi's men who attacked her in her house. With no other option, Ok-joo had to flee, leaving the woman she had saved to be caught again. Later, when Choi met with his boss, Choi lied to his boss about killing Ok-joo to avoid trouble, but the boss pointed out he only wanted her brought to him, not killed. The boss then said someone else would take over Choi's business to handle the video distribution since it was making good money, and told Choi to stop doing things on his own. Choi pushed back, saying he didn't need the syndicate's help. As Choi was about to leave, the boss asked about the young woman who witnessed the murder. Choi admitted she could be a witness but promised to keep her quiet. As the boss and the others were heading out, he said that Choi was a mystery. Desperate for information, Choi relentlessly questioned the captive woman, resorting to violence. But the woman stayed silent, showing incredible bravery even in the face of pain. Ok-joo went on a mission to take out the guards one by one, carefully eliminating each of them. After asking one about Choi's location, she shot him. Ok-joo remembered her last time with Mihi, who gave her a pair of shoes as a birthday gift before leaving for Russia to study ballet. She wore those shoes now as a reminder of Minhee. Ok-joo had figured out where they were running their operations. When Ok-joo walked in, she saw the bloodied clothes of the recaptured woman, which made her even more determined. Following an elevator with 3 men inside, she acted quickly, taking them out without a word. When she got to the underground plant, Ok-joo boldly announced her presence and demanded to know where the woman was. The big boss came out, trying to convince her he wasn't the enemy and offering her a chance to join them to save her life. But Ok-joo wasn't having it. Without hesitation, she shot him in the head. Not stopping, she kept demanding the location of the captured woman. Just as her gun ran out of bullets, the boss's right-hand man pulled a knife, and everyone attacked her, raising the stakes. Ok-joo quickly grabbed her hidden weapon and unleashed a hail of gunfire, taking down her attackers one by one. She wiped out most of them, leaving only one survivor for questioning. Determined to get the truth, she forced him to talk by shoving broken glass into his mouth and hitting him with a series of brutal punches. Outside, as Myung-sik carried the unconscious body of the captured young woman, Ok-joo showed up. Seeing who he put in the back, she checked her condition and found her body covered in wounds. Just as she was about to finish him off, Choi shot her from behind, hitting her in the shoulder. Thinking the job was done, Myung-sik told Choi he'd handle the cleanup. But in a shocking twist, Choi double-crossed him and shot Myung-sik too. As Choi got closer to Ok-joo, she managed to hide behind a cart. The captured young woman woke up and shot Choi. As he was about to shoot Ok-joo, she got him first. Then, they tossed him in the trunk and drove to a desolate beach. When Choi woke up and realized what Ok-joo was gonna do, he freaked out. He started begging her to stop and spare his life, pleading for mercy in a desperate attempt to survive. Ok-joo told him he had no clue how powerful women could be in taking down his operations since he always considered them easy prey. Defiant, Choi claimed he didn't recognize her and insisted he hadn't done anything to deserve her attention. Ok-joo mentioned Mihi, the ballerina whose life he had shattered. Choi laughed cruelly, pointing out that all this vengeance was over just one ballerina. His callous response only fueled Ok-joo's determination and anger. With steely resolve, she unleashed a torrent of fire from her flamethrower, engulfing Choi and reducing him to ashes, ending his sinister existence. Afterward, Ok-joo gathered all the USB drives from Choi's house, along with a chilling list of women captured by several other men. Driven by determination, she jumped on her motorcycle and set out on a mission to rescue those women, dedicating her life to this noble purpose. Subscribe for more videos like this. Until next time, take care and see you in the next video.